Maytown was a name given to a small settlement that developed at the junction of two railroad lines. The first line completed in 1885 by the Atlantic Coast St. John's and Indian River Railroad Company connected Titusville to Enterprise. Following the two freezes during the winter of 1894 to 95, which devastated the region's citrus crop, Henry Flagler was able to acquire this line for his Florida East Coast Railroad at a low price. In 1911, the FEC Railroad began construction on a new cutoff connecting to the Enterprise branch at Maytown. It was completed to Okeechobee in 1915, a distance of 122 miles. This line lasted until 1947, when a new line from Okeechobee to Fort Pierce was made it unnecessary. The Enterprise branch was also abandoned, and as of 2008, its trackage had all been removed. Hello, friends. This is a story about a special lady and a small town in Florida that most have never heard of. The town is called Maytown. It is a step back into the old Florida. The lady's name is Virgie Clark. Maytown is located west of Titusville, north of Orlando, off of the East Coast. It has old houses. This is an old house that was there, and this is where the original post office was once located. It's no longer there. This is an old cracker house that was there long ago and now is abandoned. I'm going to let Virgie tell the rest of her story. The loud noise you hear are frogs and crickets. Hey y'all, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're in Maytown, Florida. This is my friend Virgie. Virgie does a lot of good for the community and for the bicyclers that come through here. This is a bicycle path, and I'll be telling you more about how it became about and everything about this area at the beginning of this movie. This is Virgie's pit stop. Virgie started doing this to help the bicyclers that are on the road. She has bananas. She has, what all do you have, Virgie?
Snacks, bananas, Gatorade, and water, and all the good stuff for them.
And it's all on a donation base. And she is.
I don't have any prices. It's
See, everybody knows Virgie.
And that was Larry.
That's Larry, yeah.
And he's the one that brings me some honey. He has honey at his house.
Wonderful, wonderful.
He brought me some elderberry honey.
We know elderberry is very good for you.
And it's really good. I put it in my coffee every morning, just about.
Virgie, how long has this house been here that you live in?
Gosh, it's hard to say. Back in the 1900s.
It was built in the 1900s?
Probably.
And her daddy had this house moved here from the railroad tracks, and he did several of them, and they lived in this house until they died, right?
Yeah.
What'd your daddy do for his profession?
He was a game warden.
Oh.
And he was a game warden up till 1965, and he retired then.
Don't they have a road named after him here?
Yeah, it's Charlie Clark Memorial Road, and it's on Maytown Road.
I'm going to post a picture of a map to show you where this is at.
It's a 9-mile stretch from Oak Hill at Beacon Light Road out to Maytown Spur. And the sign says Charlie Clark Memorial Road.
Well, they came in here and they paved all this for bicycle riders, right?
Yeah.
The whole railroad bed, it goes along where the railroad went.
Yeah, I think it was in 2018 whenever they got it finished.
Well, how many bicyclers do you think you see on average on a week? Just guess.
Probably like a week, probably 100 of them.
Oh.
Maybe, and then sometimes on weekends there's more, but everybody don't stop, but most of the people do.
They
'Cause
stop and they say hi to her.
and they appreciate what I do. They tell me thank you all the time for what I do for them. So,
You know, when you think of Florida, you think of beaches. You don't think about the old Florida. If
yeah.
you come here, it's like being in the old Florida.
Yeah.
The people are real friendly. You don't have a lot of houses. You got cows. You've got cows right across the road, don't you, Virgie?
Yeah, they belong to my nephew.
And did your dad raise cows?
Yeah, he had cows too. And my brothers, they had cows.
And
I had some at one time, and I let my brother take them over.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
How old are you, Virgie?
I'm 77.
And your brother was born in this house here?
Well, there was a different house here years ago, and he was born here.
Okay, cool.
And my brother's name is Edward Clark.
Oh, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to take you around and let you see her stand. And she's got it all decorated up. She gets out here early in the morning, puts all this stuff out every day.
I try to have it out by 7:30 every morning for people to get stuff. And sometimes they come before I get it out here. But Gatorade and water is always out here for them if I don't have the snacks.
So we're going to make some pictures of the stand itself. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take y'all over there and show you the outside of Virgie's house. Okay, this is the front of Virgie's house. But how many bedrooms do you have in your house, Virgie?
Three bedrooms.
And now let me tell y'all something about Virgie. She is an excellent cook. She can make things that you probably have never had. She has made, you even cook turtle, don't you? Hadn't you cooked turtle?
Yeah, soft shell turtle, swamp cabbage.
And fish. What is swamp cabbage?
It's the heart of the cabbage palm, and you cut the center of it out, and you chip it up, and I usually wash mine, and you take and fry you some bacon, chip you some bacon up and fry it, and you pour that cabbage over into the bacon grease with the bacon, and you keep it stirred, and you add a little salt and pepper to it, and don't put no water. Just keep it on low till it cooks down a little bit, and you put maybe a half a cup to a cup of water in it. And just let it simmer along, and it's real tender and good.
Do y'all see Virgie's t-shirt? Now, I don't have my Amazon store open yet or my storefront, but pretty soon I'm going to, and I may be able to have a connection to get you some of these t-shirts. Me and Virgie will talk about that later. If I can, I'd love for y'all to order some from her. And all the money will go to Virgie. It won't come to me. Is the cabbage palm, is that a palmetto?
It's a cabbage tree.
I've never seen a cabbage tree, I don't think. Do you have a cabbage tree here?
Yeah, there's one over there by that fence there.
Okay, y'all hold on and we'll show you a cabbage tree. This is a cabbage palm that Virgie was talking about. Now,
my oldest sister said when she was little, this big oak tree on the left-hand side of my house.
I'm going to show y'all.
She swung on the limbs of that tree when she was little. So that's how old the oak tree is. And my sister was born in 1924.
How many sisters and brothers did you have, Virgie?
There was 7 of us. There was 4 sisters and 3 brothers.
And you are the only one that's still?
Me and my brother, Edward Clark,
are the 2 left?
Is the only 2 that's left. The rest of them has passed away.
How old is Edward?
He'll be 82, I think, in February.
These people...
He was born in 1942, so I think he'll be 82 on his next birthday.
Whenever I first met Virgie and came out here, her mother was still alive, and she had Virgie, you took care of her, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I stayed and took care of her right up until she passed away.
What was her name?
Vivian.
Vivian.
Vivian Adele Clark.
And Virgie has always, let me tell you, Virgie is the caretaker of the whole family. I don't know what they'd do if we didn't have Virgie in the family.
Yeah.
We're going to take you and show you the back side of Virgie's house. This is a live oak. This is the same tree that Virgie's older sister used to play on. Isn't it beautiful?
This house here was one of the railroad houses set by the railroad track. And back in the 60s, my dad bought all the houses before they took the tracks up. And I think that the train stopped running like sometime in the 60s. But he bought the houses and moved this one here. It used to sit down on the corner by the parking lot, which is next to the bike trail. And then he added two bedrooms onto the house.
So said that he bought the houses and y'all lived here, but you lived in another location before then.
Yeah.
Okay.
For about 14 years, we lived over south of Oak Hill at Shiloh. He bought that place back in 1946 whenever I was born.
Cool.
And we lived there about 14 years, and we moved back out here because this is where his location where he was born at.
So besides the feed station, what do you like to do for hobbies?
I like to cook, I like to fish, and I like to sew.
She's very good seamstress.
Yeah.
Very good.
I make a lot of crafts and stuff, and I like to go fishing. And my niece and nephew, they got me an electric fillet knife for my birthday. So I like to fillet my fish out with my electric knife. That's the only way I can clean fish, because it's too hard with a regular knife. So I enjoy that.
Great.
So,
Great. This tree, what is this stuff hanging out of this tree?
it's moss, Spanish moss.
Do all the trees around here have the moss, or they?
Yeah, just about every tree, because it jumps from one tree to the next,
Oh, cool.
Different things, it'll come on one tree and then the next tree will have some.
Now, I was told that there's a berry that grows in palmetto bushes. The palmetto bushes are all around here, and there's a berry that y'all pick and sell them to wholesalers. What time of year do you do that?
In September.
Okay, and what do they do with the berries?
They make some kind of medicine out of them. I help my niece and my two nieces gather them. And they take them and sell them.
And they make a medicine out of the berries that are on the palmettos.
Yeah.
I bet they're heavy, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty heavy.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
Do you see many snakes when you're picking them?
No, I haven't seen any, but I go out and help them gather them.
Cool. Come into your yard and your life and your house.
And she's my special friend. And she lives up in Alabama or Panama City.
Yeah, well,
somewhere up in that
Florida,
area.
Panama City.
North Florida. She's like a sister to me.
So, y'all, we'll be doing some more interviews like this. We're going to travel around, and we'll be doing some more interviews. But remember, Virgie's Feed Station. I got these T-shirts too. And come by and say hi to her. So we'll let y'all go. Bye.
Bye-bye.
With few people remaining in Maytown, the old Enterprise Branch Railroad is now owned by the Florida Department of environmental protection. It has been turned into a bicycle trail.